This looks like a job for Detective Chemicals.
Hello? I'll be right over.
If there's someone dead in your science room, who you gonna need? Detective Chemicals! If it's a mystery, and you can't assume, who is your guy? Detective Chemicals!
Interesting. Seems like this water's been split. He's missing 2 of his electrons. Where would those electrons be? Let's see here. Now why would there be an extra electron over here? Got to get to the bottom of this. Interesting. So we have some missing electrons resulting from the split water. Now what do I know? Photosystems 1 and 2, they both require light energy, yeah? And both require an electron. Huh. Interesting. So these are the primary suspects. I'm getting to the bottom of this. So, Photosystem 1, do you know why I brought you here?
No,
Where were you noon of yesterday?
just like any other day, I was absorbing my 700 nanometer wavelength, just doing photosynthesis, doing my thing.
Where do you get your electrons from?
Photosystem 2.
Interesting. And where do your electrons go?
They're usually sent to convert NADP plus to NADPH through NADP plus reductase.
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time. So tell me, where were you 2 days ago?
You know, man, just minding my own business, producing electrons, absorbing that 680 nanometer wavelength of light.
So where do you get your electrons from?
You know, just the supermarket like everyone else does.
Are you sure about that? The supermarket?
Yeah, man, that's where everyone gets them, isn't it?
All right. Where do you send your electrons? Where do they go?
You know, I just send them on down the electron transport chain. You know, my electrons are the number 1 electrons in the electron transport chain. They're responsible for building that Person gradient and producing ATP.
Well, you see, there's some discrepancies here. Photosystem 1 has told me he gets his electrons from you. Is that correct?
I mean, I just send them down the electron transport chain. I guess they go to photosystem 1.
Interesting. And he has told me that his go off to the NADP plus reductase where NADPH is formed and sent to the Calvin cycle. Do you know that to be true?
As far as I know, yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you for your time. After great thought, I know who is guilty here. Photosystem 1. It can't be you because you say you get your electrons from Photosystem 2. So therefore, it is you, Photosystem 2, who have split water.
Here's my theory. You followed Water home that day, sneaking up behind him slowly, and then you split him, killing him instantly. Then you took his electrons one by one, leaving just oxygen there. With those electrons, you took one of them to the electron transport chain, where ATP production could carry out with the cytochrome complex. But then you dropped one, leaving me enough evidence to find you.
And that's why it's you. You'll never catch me alive. Case closed.
I'm Rubisco!
Gotta call. Detective.
Someone's in trouble. Oh my god! Someone has fixated carbon to this RUBP. But who? So do you know who could have done this? Any details or something about that night?
Well, I remember he was big. It was like he was an enzyme. And like I said before, there's this carbon I have from before. So I guess he fixed it to me. The details are pretty hazy though.
Okay, what do we have here? Using my knowledge of the Calvin cycle, I know that a carbon is fixed to RUBP, to the first phase of the Calvin cycle, fixation. So that means after fixation, reduction will happen, reduction, where electrons are added and G3P is released, but then regeneration happens, interesting, where G3P is regenerated to RUBP, but only if I knew how carbon dioxide was fixed. What enzyme does that? We'll have to get to the bottom of this.
Bisco.
So tell me what happened again.
Well, I just woke up and now I have 2 carbons. It's crazy.
Well, this time I came prepared. I set up cameras around where you were sleeping to catch this criminal. So come with me. So there you are sleeping. There he is. That's Rubisco, the most abundant enzyme in the world. He's the one fixating these carbons to you. So this is my plan. This is how we're gonna catch this guy. What we're gonna do is we're gonna form a stakeout. And when he comes to visit you at night to try to fix another carbon on you, the third in the cycle, we're gonna catch him.
I'm Rubisco.
Gotcha!
Yeah, I'm Rubisco.
So Rubisco, why did you fixate carbons to RUBP?
Well, man, I had to get that G3P, man. So versatile. It can make all 4 macromolecules. If I had that, I would be the most powerful enzyme in the world. I could rule. I could do whatever I wanted. That's all I needed, and I would have got away with it too if it weren't for you meddling detectives.
See, you would have never gotten away with it because it's more than just fixation. You see, there are 3 phases in order to produce G3P. And I'm not sure if you know all of them. You have carbon fixation, you have reduction, and regeneration. You failed to realize that you needed NADPH and ATP to use energy and electrons to power and get G3P. And you failed to realize that some of that G3P is needed to regenerate into new RUBP to form a net gain of G3P. So you would have never gotten away with it. Stand up. We can't have criminals like you trying to rule the world with this G3P. Sometimes the hardest choices require the strongest wills. Case closed.
Oh no! Someone took the ATP. I need to call Detective Chemicals.
One. Hello? I'll be right there. So what could have happened here? What time did this happen?
It occurred sometime around midday yesterday. I just remember I was standing here doing my job like I always do, and then next thing I know, I was waking up and the ATP was gone. I really can't remember what happened.
There seems to be a lot of CO2 in the air, which means photorespiration wouldn't occur because it would need a lot of oxygen. Temperature it's mild. I have to get to the bottom of this. Let's see here. So ATP was taken in this case. There was a lot of CO2, meaning that there couldn't be photorespiration because there wasn't oxygen. Also meaning that C3 would not be the culprit because they use photorespiration quite frequently. Also, since it was mild temperature and during the day, that would mean it is not going to be CAM. So our suspect has to be C4. I'll get to the bottom of this. Are you C4? Aha! You're coming with me. I'm gonna interview you and find out what you did, boy. Where did you get this from?
You know, I might have stolen it.
Why do you need something like this?
Well, the process of photosynthesis that I go through in the Calvin cycle, I need extra ATP to fix my CO2s to an intermediary before I can use them in the Calvin cycle. How could you possibly have figured it out, though? It's the perfect crime.
Well, you see, it's really quite simple. I knew it wasn't a CAM plant because this crime happened during the day, and CAM plants only affix carbons during the night. I also knew it wasn't going to be a C3 plant because a lot of carbon dioxide was present, meaning it wouldn't have to undergo photorespiration and it wouldn't need the extra ATP. So you're busted, boy.
I'm not busted. You're busted.
What? Case closed.
Come on, Dr. Chemicals. You can't just go around killing people.
What? What do you mean? I'm getting paid the big bucks to solve crimes.
It's your second murder this week. You can't keep it up. You just
Come on, man. When I signed the contract to do this show, I just got carried away.
I hate to do it, but I gotta take you in.
Come on, man. Come on. What about season 2? What about season 2? These bars can't hold me long. I'll be back for season 2. It's time to break out.